Hey, thanks for watching Numbskull News. And today, we got to talk about the goings on in Utah. No more than a couple of weeks ago, did I make a video giving Utah all the love for going into Stillwater and beating an unbeaten Oklahoma State team. And they did a great job. And I said, look, they're the number one in the conference. Right now, they're dominating the conference. They're doing great. Well. A few weeks later, they're 4-2. Just lost to Arizona State. Lost to Arizona before that. This is still a good team. But they are flawed. They're not the dominant team in the Big 12. Sorry. Let's start with Cam Rising. The dude's always hurt. Missed all of last year. Has already missed games this year. I mean, through one half. He can't get through a half of a season without losing games, without missing games. What is the greatest ability for any football player? Availability, and he sucks at it. And speaking of sucks, he sucked against Arizona State. 3 INTs. I don't give a damn how many yards he had. I don't give a damn anything. No touchdowns, 3 interceptions. Why is that? Because he's rusty as shit, because he missed an entire season and has already missed games this year. And he's going up against an Arizona State defense that's pretty damn good. And he ain't ready for that. Period. End of story. It's about Cam Rising. This is why Utah really wasn't a factor in the last season, the last full season of the original Pac-12. I mean, they weren't a factor because there was no Cam Rising. And they're not a factor this year in the Big 12 because of Cam Rising. He's not ready to play. Now, they got 2 games coming up. TCU, Houston. They should be able to get right. They'll be favored in both games. Definitely against TCU and against Houston. You know, Cam should be able to work his way back into shape and knock the rust off, right? Maybe, because Utah also has apparently, they got a problem with the run game. Their defense has a problem with the run game. Look at old Scattaboo. I got his yards right here. 158 yards, 2 touchdowns for old Scattaboo. Yeah. That's the vaunted Utah defense right there. So when your run D sucks and your quarterback sucks, guess what? You're not going to win a lot of games. They'll get bowl eligible. Utah will be bowl eligible. Will they be in the Big 12 title game? Boy, it ain't looking good. Not when you got the Holy War coming up pretty soon. Not when you got Iowa State coming up. The 2 undefeated teams in the conference left on your schedule. Plus, sandwiched in between, you got Colorado, who's not a bad team, shockingly. They're not bad. They're better than they were last year. So, and look, like I said, TCU, it's not a gimme. It's not a gimme game. I know before the season, you just had to chalk it up as a win. Can't do that now. Houston, no, you should be able to chalk it up as a win, but you can't. Look how they played Oklahoma. I mean, they're 2-4. They're not great. They did have a quarterback change. Coming off a bye week. Both teams are coming off a bye week right now. I don't know. Can Utah get past TCU and Houston and have Cam Rising intact? All right, or is some part of his body going to blow up? That'll be the question. Right now, there's just a giant question mark with Utah. But what we do know, all this talk about Utah dominating the Big 12, no problem. They'll win the Big 12. They may win it for the next 4 or 5 years. They're just that much better than all these Big 12 losers. Well, the football gods have said, F you, buddy. So we'll see what happens. And all the people, preseason, and I told you, this is not an easy schedule. Everyone's, oh my God, the Big 12 just gave Utah this wimpy, easy schedule. Bro, they're 4-2 in that schedule right now. I'm looking, like I said, the rest of the way, TCU, Houston, BYU, Colorado, Iowa State, and UCF, that shit ain't easy. And that's in the bounce house. And I know UCF just got beat by Cincinnati. I'll talk about that in a minute. But UCF's got a real defense. All right, they do got playmakers. If they could find a quarterback by that game, that could be a problem game for Utah. So, it ain't looking great right now for Utah. If you're a Utah fan, you cannot feel good about where your team is right now. 4-2, halfway through the season. It's not horrible, but it's far from where you thought you should be. You thought you were going to be 6-0, getting ready to go 7-0, 8-0, and then the Holy War. So, that ain't what it is it? It isn't. Anyway. But you know what? Let's give Arizona State some love here. They got a damn good run game. They got a good defense. They're 5-1. I know they're one game better than Utah. Plus they got the tiebreaker. Look, I don't know where they're going to finish. I do know they're getting to a bowl plus some. Plus some. This is a good team. Surprising team. But that's the Big 12, baby. Every year it's going to be a surprise. A couple of teams are going to come out there and be like, whoa, look at the two teams at the top. Now, Iowa State isn't that much of a surprise. We knew they were going to be way better than they were last year. At least I did. I felt they were going to be better. And if old Rocco can play, we knew that defense was going to be good, and they had a shot. They got a shot. They're at the top of the conference right now. Right there with BYU. Now that is a surprise, right? And let's go ahead. You know what? Let's go ahead and talk about BYU. They beat the living dog shit out of Arizona. And I mean just kill them. What is this? 19-41. For mother, father. Look, the first quarter, Arizona was ahead 7-1 after the first quarter, and you're like, or 7-0, sorry. Yeah, like it's hockey or something. 7 head by touchdown. And then after that, BYU just blows their damn doors off. 14 in the second quarter, 13 in the third, and another 14 points in the fourth quarter. They just beat the shit out of Arizona. And guys, I know Arizona has stepped back a little bit from last year. They lost their coach and some other talent, but they kept their quarterback. They got some nice targets to throw to. But Arizona's a good team. I really didn't think they were a threat to win the Big 12 this year. But definitely still good. But BYU is just on another level right now. Coach Satake. Everyone was doubting. You're not doubting now. Let's talk about the Colorado game. Let's talk about that Colorado versus K-State. My two big takeaways from that game. Colorado is not as bad as everyone seems to think or wish they would be. They're just not. But K-State, on the other hand, I don't think they're as good as everybody thinks they are. They're good. All right. They're not BYU good. They are good. They went on the road to Colorado, a better-than-you-think team, now a 4-2 team, and they got the win. Congratulations. But if Colorado in the fourth quarter have their top 3 wide receivers, is that a different story? Does Colorado pull out that win if Shedeur has his 3 top targets? It could be. And that last play call, what is it, 4th and 6? All you need is a field goal to tie the game, and Shedeur is going deep as shit to like the 4th, 5th, or 6th option on the team because he doesn't have his top 3 wide receivers. What are you doing? What do you do? You need 6 yards. You need 7. I know K-State's got a good defense, but Shedeur could run for that. But you're going deep, and I understand the trickery trying to hit something deep, but you got to understand also you don't have your weapons out there. You don't have your playmakers out there. You don't have Horn. It was a dumb decision. And look, Shedeur can play. A lot of people are just dog cussing that guy. He can play, but there's some things he hasn't progressed on. He gets sacked a lot. Now, his offensive line is horrible. It really is. It's bad. But he doesn't help it at all. Look, I'm a Dallas Cowboy fan. I remember Tony Romo running for his life because most of his career with the Cowboys, he had substandard offensive lines, mediocre offensive lines. The few times he had good, at least some decent quality offensive lines, he made the playoffs. When they didn't, that's when he's running for his life and getting killed. But this dude can make up for bad offensive lines. He knows how to play the game. He knows how to set the protections. He had a great internal clock. I mean, there was one time, who was that Hall of Fame defensive end for Houston? Damn it. Everyone knows his name. I can't think of his name. Anyway, big time dude. Just had him zeroed in, and Romo went down to one, kind of bent down, looked like he was just going to take the sack. Did a quick spin move, and homeboy just flew through the air. Just got nothing but it was one of the most beautiful, brilliant moves ever. Now that's one of the reasons Romo had to retire a little bit early. It's because all that torque he was putting into his back trying to escape sacks from gigantic men because his offensive line wasn't that great. But Kansas State, now look, Avery Johnson's good, but he's young. Through that horrible interception in the fourth quarter, damn near cost Wildcats the game. That's kind of the, when you're a sophomore, even though you're really good, that's the kind of dumb shit you do. And so I think stuff like that, if it was Iowa State, if it was some of these other teams in the Big 12 that have good offensive lines, good defenses, you're screwed. That would have cost you. So K-State's good. High quality team. I don't know how good they are. Now, they can continue to get better, but this is mid-season. They're supposed to be mid-season form. And I know Colorado is better than people think, but K-State, like I said, that big takeaway is that they're just not as good. And really the last thing on Sanders, on Shedeur, and we all see it. He gets these, what they call catastrophic sacks. All sacks are catastrophic to a degree. But when you're losing 5, 6 yards, 8 yards, that's bad enough. But when it's 15, 20 plus yards on every sack, I've never seen a quarterback backpedal that fast. Throw the damn ball away. And why is he in shotgun every single time? It's that kind of shit. He's not a first round pick because he's got to go to the draft this year. He's going to be lucky to be a second day draft pick. And he may not get there. I don't think he'll get there. I don't think he'll get to the second round. Unless there's a team that just wants to sell tickets by having Dion's kid. As far as just his ability and things that his weaknesses, the things he's got to work on, definitely not a first day. I don't think he's a second day. Possibly an early third day, not third round. I can see him going in the fourth round. I think he more than deserves to go into the fourth round. But that's about as high as I can get Shedeur with, because he's got a lot of talent. He's got a nice arm. He's accurate. But he's got an attitude problem. I'm sorry, I don't care what anyone says. He's got an attitude problem. He needs to get humbled a little bit more. And it may take the NFL, him getting the shit kicked out of him, or him sitting on the bench for a couple of years to get that attitude adjustment the right way. But he's got the talent to play in the NFL. But you ain't backpedaling like that and costing your team 20 yards a clip every time you get sacked. They'll say, no. If you're going to eat a sack, you eat it up closer to the line of scrimmage. I mean, I don't care if it's Tom Brady. I don't care who it is. But these great quarterbacks, or even just half-assed good quarterbacks, Donovan McNabbs and things like that, when someone got loose and came right up the middle at them, they just go down and eat the sack. Okay, fuck it. I'm going to protect myself, and I'm going to protect the football. It doesn't matter if it's first, second, or third down. They're just going to go down. They're going to take that 5-yard loss, and that's it. They're not out there trying to play hero ball, running around, backpedaling for shit, going back 20 freaking yards, then getting sacked. That's dumb shit. That's what's going to kill his career if he doesn't straighten that shit out. And maybe he can get it straightened out. He won't get it straightened out before the NFL. But maybe they can straighten him out in the NFL. I don't know. But we'll see what happens there. West Virginia versus Iowa State, man. Damn, Mountaineers. Who was it? Heartland College sports guy probably said it best. West Virginia kicks the shit out of who they're supposed to beat. And then they usually get beat down pretty good by the teams that are considered better than them or really good teams. Pitt didn't beat them down, but they did come back and get them. That's probably pretty true. And coming from a Dallas Cowboys fan base, I'm telling you, Mountaineer fans, that sucks. I understand your consternation on that, because that is the Dallas Cowboys. Look at the Lions. The Lions game this weekend. My God, that shit was over in the first half, 27-3. Oh God. Anyway, it wasn't that bad for West Virginia, thank God. But Iowa State is for real. They're for really, real. That defense is every bit as good as it's been in the last several years, maybe even better. The quarterbacks, Rocco Becht, no mistakes. Good game. Really, that's what you need. That's what that team needs, is a quarterback that doesn't make mistakes, that can make a few plays for you. And that's what they got. All right. No interception. Transversely, Green had a couple of interceptions. But, it was the Iowa State defense that can make shit happen. But, Iowa State, they owned the second and the fourth quarter. So in the second quarter, it was 14-3 in the second quarter and 14-6 in the fourth quarter. That's how you win games. Hell, that's how you win playoff games. It's not about the first and the third quarters. It's about the second and the fourth. In those halves strong, and you give yourself a chance to win. And they end them strong offensively and defensively. So, Iowa State is a load. Now, while everybody was watching the Red River, I was watching Cincinnati versus UCF. And those two schools play some defense, man. I am impressed with Cincinnati's defense. They just fly around. They hit people. I love that shit. I'm becoming a Bearcat fan. Scott Satterfield, I keep saying it, he's better than you think. He's better than the results say that he's been. And everybody was questioning that hire last year. Scott Satterfield, they just settled for a guy. They didn't just settle for a guy. It's the guy who recruits on a pretty damn high level. All right. Louisville right now is still enjoying the fruits of his recruiting. Keep that shit in mind. He was building something there. Sometimes it takes a while, and sometimes people are impatient. And as I said before, UCF, it sucks. They went to the transfer portal. They got the quarterback, and he ain't getting it done. That now they're going to their second and their third option, and I love UCF. They got talent. There's some UCF fans questioning the coach. I get it. Coach Malzahn. But Coach Malzahn also has a national title. Remember that. He can build a team. He can build a squad. He's doing that. You went up a level. You were the only team of the new teams last year, of those G5, former G5 teams and BYU. You're the only ones to make the play, or not make playoffs, but make a bowl game last year. The only ones. You're 3-3 right now. You got an excellent chance to make another bowl. You still have a chance to finish with a better record than you did last year. Focus on that shit. Get better, get better, get better. The team is ready to do something special if they could find a quarterback. I believe they got the defense. They got enough defense to get into a Big 12 title game. The offensive line is still, it's pretty good. It's not bad. It's way better in Colorado. But it's the trigger man. You need the trigger man. And they haven't put it all together yet. But I still love the future for UCF, man. I still do. Now, I don't usually make these kind of videos where I'm breaking down all the Big 12 games. And this is not really much of a breakdown. Other channels do a way better job. They'll give you all the numbers, all the stats from all the major players on the offense and defense, and hell, even sometimes special teams. You're not going to get that kind of detail from me. I'm just a fan. I'm not trying to be professional. I'm not trying to have some kind of a laudy expectation for myself with that shit. I'm going to give you kind of the basics and the way I see things. And I'm not going to do these kind of breakdowns every week, but just this week was really interesting with Utah. Had to do it. And I figure if I'm going to talk about Utah, let's talk about everybody. That's why I did it. Anyway, thanks for watching this crap that I did. And I'll be back with some other crap later. Bye.